Politics is the authoritative allocation of value of who get what, when, where, and how. The African Democratic Congress held a national convention in Abuja, bringing together party leaders and stakeholders to deliberate on strategy, internal cohesion, and its position ahead of the future election. The convention is seen as a critical moment for the party as it seeks to expand its political footprint and strengthen its relevance in Nigerian evolving political landscape ahead of 2027 general election. To have this conversation, I am joined by Ibrahim Habibu Suleiman, a member of ADC. Ibrahim, welcome to Political Arena.
Thank you for having me, Madam Bakar.
Yes. Yesterday, your party, the ADC, held its national convention. So,
yeah, exactly.
What does that convention mean to you as a member of ADC?
Not just to me as a member of the ADC, but to Nigeria's democracy in general. And if I see to Nigeria's democracy in general, I mean to the whole African democracy, because every country that is practicing democracy in Nigeria, in Africa, sorry, is looking up to Nigeria. So Nigeria's democracy build up the democracy of the whole continent. Okay. The Congress or convention, sorry, rather, that we had yesterday, kind of give a hope that democracy has come to stay in this country. Despite all the challenges that we face, we have been able to run a kind of a successful convention yesterday where we kind of cement the kind of national escorts of the party.
There was an allegation and that the ADC wanted to use the Eagle Square and Abuja National Stadium. How legit is that?
Exactly. The party wrote to the relevant authorities requesting for the venue, which is the Eagle Square, which is a place known for events like this, and the alternative, because we know if the Eagle Square is not available for event of such magnitude, the National Stadium used to be an alternative, and all the requests were not being even responded. There wasn't any response up until the late hours from the relevant authorities, definitely to the minister, because the later must got to him before the approval of such.
But he came out and rejected that allegation.
But we have a copies of letters written to him and an acknowledgement written to gotten from the office of the minister. So it was written to him, and you can see it going all over the social media that a letter was being submitted for such a request. And one thing that will kind of prove to you that something like this was being done is that the very venue, we even rented a private space, event center that we even rented, which is the Rainbow Event Center in the central area in Garki area 8, was the owner of the very event center was later being threatened, and he called some of the committee members and told them that this thing is not going to hold. After we've signed an agreement, make the payment, and receipt of payment were being received.
That is a business venture. Maybe
exactly.
He gotten another offer.
No. He was threatened that his own license will be revoked.
Was there any fact to back that thing up?
There are facts, because himself, the workers at the event center, all of them run. They locked down the power alternative station in that very place. And then the AEDC cut the power supply to that event center. We have to provide another source of power, which is a mobile power source to that very event center. And if you watch the video of the event, you realize that many of us were kind of suffocating in that event center. Many were using a hand fan. Some were using handkerchiefs to clear their sweat. It was very, very difficult for us, but we stood our ground because we really want to ensure that we sustain democracy in this country. So that was what actually happened. So with all this, you will believe with me that the APC is still threatened by the influence and the momentum the ADC is having.
Most of the members of the ADC were one time among the ruling party. Don't you think that maybe this is now the right time for the ruling party, as you allege that they are the one financing all this that is happening in the ADC? Don't you think that maybe it's just a kind of, you know, sometimes they say one good time deserves another. When they were in power, they did the same, and now they are in the opposition, and they are experiencing the same, and most of them are lamenting that.
All right, Malabaka, let me respond to that very question with facts. And reasonable facts. Most of us, let me say, most of us were in the ADs, in the APC in 2013 when the APC got formed, and there was a kind of momentum, a direction that we had at that time, that the PDP was going south, and we need to kind of bring about sanity in the political space. That was the reason why the APC was being formed at that time, where some parties like the ACN, parties like the ANPP and the CPC, and some part of PDP came together to do what we call major at that time, because what we're having now is a coalition. So we formed the major because we have a kind of a direction. We want to change the way the international or the global stage is looking at Nigeria's democracy, the way the international stage is looking at Nigeria's leadership. So let us have a kind of a sanity in our own political space. We did that, and Buhari emerged to be the candidate of the APC. That was in 2015. And then that was in 2014, because the congresses happened, and conventions in 2014, and the election, I think, in February in 2015. That was how Buhari became the president of this country. And later on, after Buhari, we thought that very momentum, even though there were challenges with the Buhari administration at that time, but still, Buhari was still maintaining the sanity and giving the other political parties a space to breathe. Thank you very much. But what is happening today? It is right from the first day this government came into power, they started taking a different 29 May of 2023. They started taking a different dimension, going contrary to the set principles and kind of achievable goals being put in place by the APC. So many of them think we can't continue with what is going on. Look at what, I think you watch the podcast between Sheun Akimbalowe and Zainab Bubagaladima. She said that things are not going right, and everybody has been complaining that we should...
Maybe now Zainab is in the opposition.
No, she has been there before she left for the position, like any other person. So I'm trying to let you know that everybody that left to the ADC realizes that what the APC is doing, or where the APC is going, is totally not the actual coordinate or the actual direction that the APC was being set to go. So they must have to change route. You can't follow a sinking ship into... Yeah.
Sulaiman,
yes,
ADC, PDP, APC, and other political parties in Nigeria.
Yeah.
What does ADC stand different?
Internal democracy.
With the presence of Nafi Wala faction and David Mad faction?
Whenever you mention, or whenever I heard of that name coming up, what comes to me is a kind of, because it sounds like a story, a kind of, how would I call it? What Hausa people call Jasunia. I don't know, you know what. So actually, it sounds very funny for me. Somebody who can neither read nor write, because that's how I see Nafi Ubala. A written document.
He neither can read or write.
He cannot. Yes, we know the people that write for him. We know how they kind of pitch and train him on how to read. And you will bear me witness, when he was reading at the INEC office, when they were protesting, you will bear me witness that it was very, very laughable how somebody who claimed to be a chairman of a national party is reading. Like a primary 3 pupil reading on a stage, on an international stage, is very funny. So how can you take somebody like this serious? It's
so
not,
you mean what Nafi showcased was just a political contract?
he was just hired to kind of, how will I say, ridicule himself on the public space.
Okay, so what will be a benefit to Nafi if he destabilizes ADC?
Malabakar, this is something you know, but since we are on the TV show, let me put it this way. You know, the way and level of corruption in this country, you know, corruption can give you so many things.
Okay, before we call it a day.
So let me tell you, let me round up. You won't ask me a question and shut me up. Let me tell you, so many people in this country have no integrity. The money can buy them. If you give them money, they can do anything.
Well, this is your word against your word.
Exactly, it's my own word. Exactly.
Okay, before we call it a day, what should Nigerians expect after the National Convention? I mean, as a member of ADC, where is ADC going to zone its own presidential ticket? Is it in the south or is it in the north?
Well, like I said earlier, internal democracy is what defines the ADC. So we are going to ensure... Yes, we're going to ensure...
You have been reiterating that there is an internal democracy in the ADC, but for the past 3 weeks, we have been seeing the political rigmarole that have been happening.
With Nafiu Bala?
With Nafiu Bala. And
well, Nafiu Bala is just one person. I want to remind you that we have the vice chairman south, the vice chairman north, and we have 6 deputy chairmen. Nafiu Bala is just one of them.
So you mean your party is in order?
Very order. Most especially now, a well-cemented political party, a well-stormed that can uproot.
And you are willing to give Nigerians the benefit of doubt. And you are willing to do the needful in Nigeria.
I think one thing you forgot, or one thing you're not getting right, is that ADC is the Nigerians' party. I hope you understand. It's the identity of the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people have sided with the ADC and take the ADC as their own representation, a kind of a representation in the ballot of the next election.
Okay, Suleiman Ibrahim, that is all you can have on Political Arena.
Thank you very much.
That is all we have on Political Arena.